Let's now look at the first tool, for example, the Minicube tool. This tool can be very useful when you have a cube that is very large and may be slow to analyze. Let me show you an example, and at the same time explain how to use calibration. If we have a cube that has maybe not yet been calibrated from your hyperspectral camera, the software will suggest performing the calibration through a calibration window. In this example, we have our reference white located at the top of the hypercube. And since our camera scans line by line, we know the white reference must be selected along a single line. Using a right-click, we can select a region of interest. This region can be extended, and in our case, it must cover the entire horizontal axis because the camera scans vertically and captures data line by line. We have now validated the selected region. The result of this calibration is that for each point along the line, we compute the average spectrum over the entire vertical axis of the selected zone at this position. Next, we obtain the spectrum of this reference white. We can load it, and here we know we are using the white references of shear optics used in Norway. We select this reference white, and we see its reflectance spectrum appear in the top right. You can also load your own reference file. It must contain one column with wavelengths and another column with reflectance values. Once selected, we can validate the calibration. The software then proposes to save the calibrated cube. You can save it using a different name. For example, here I called a previous calibrated cube by adding calib at the end. Once the calibration is done, the software asks in which tool you want to send the cube. Here, we will send it to the Minicube tool. And here it is, displayed with its colors after calibration. We also see that once opened, the cube is added to the cube list here. This list contains all usable cubes in the application. Now let's move on to Minicube extraction. This tool is very simple to use. You simply need to select a region. Here, I am zooming in and out using the mouse wheel, and with a right-click, I select a region of interest. You click, keep the button pressed, and release it once you are satisfied with the selection. Once the region is selected, you can save the extracted Minicube. By default, metadata will include the parent cube. The parent cube name is the name of the cube from which the Minicube was created. Here, you can give it a name. For example, we can call it, let's say, Sepia 25. You can also add additional information. For example, indicate that this is the first column and row 5 of our sample. You can also assign a number to this Minicube if needed. For example, this is the first one extracted from this sample, and then we save it. Here, the software knows that the wavelength corresponds to the SWIR range, so it proposes an initial name. You just need to adjust it with the name you want. And that's it. Your Minicube is saved as a new cube in HDF5 format. This Minicube is then added to the cube list, and you can now use it in the other tools of the application. So we are now done with the Minicube tool tutorial. See you soon for the next video. Thank you very much.